Kansas State.
Screen comes from Adams. Ahead to KJ. To the cup. A monster jam. The White Sea parted, and this game is tied. 11 seconds to play. The Cats don't have a timeout. They have to go for it here.
3 seconds to go. Tyler will drive inside. Scoop shot. Yes, and the buzzer. What a play by Tyler Perry. He's got 20. 67-66. K-State on TP's great play. Top of the circle, Arthur Kaluma. Left side to Tyler. He's open for three. Yes! Yes! Yes for Tyler Perry. That's 4 and 9 for the Cats. They lead at 70-66. Wow, what a shot! Here's Elmarco Jackson up the floor. Now to McDowell. A three-pointer is on the way, and that one is off the mark. And Kansas State, for a second straight year, has knocked off Kansas in overtime. The Wildcats win it 75-70. And K-State improves to 15-8 and 5-5. The Jayhawks are 18-5 and 6-4.
Well, I thought that they were the more athletic and explosive team early in the game. Then I thought we showed stretches where we were as well. The bottom line is the game comes down to making free throws, and it comes down to they scored their last 6 points in regulation. I'm not mistaken. Wasn't doing offensive rebounds, and 2 of them they earned, and one of them was an air ball. They just came up short, and the other one Hunter tipped in. So I mean, we were kind of unlucky there too. Even though that's obviously part of the game.
So proud of our guys. Always opportunities through the course of a season and through the course of a game to pack it in. And these guys, they're not quitters. Our struggles to this point have been more connection struggles rather than, physical ability struggles. And as a staff, we're trying to spend more time, those connections. I have to do a better job with our guys and connect with their hearts. I think that's like the first step. I want to thank our fans. They were an unbelievable night. I say every night, home court. If you have a home court advantage, it's a +10, and they might have been a +15 tonight.
49ers.
Not a ton in terms, Andy and their staff do as good of a job as anybody with their scheme and their coverage beaters and everything they do. They still have the same quarterback and Patrick, who's as good as it gets. He was then, and it's hard to get much better than he was then, but I bet he is a little bit. And Travis and everybody, so not a big difference.
People can overlook you and tell you all they want to tell about yourself, but at the end of the day, it comes down to just believing in yourself. I think surrounding yourself with some good people, and then at the end of the day, anything can happen out of something that may not look great, but anything can come of it. Obviously being drafted last, and then obviously getting to where we are now and playing in the Super Bowl, something that didn't look great initially can turn into something pretty beautiful. So never giving up and believing in yourself.
Chiefs.
He's a great football coach. Great guy, great football coach. His dad was a great football coach likewise, so he grew up around it. He's got a heck of a feel for the game, both sides of the ball, special teams. There's a reason why they're here, and he's a big part of that.
Yeah, my first Super Bowl memory, when I think about it right now, is probably opening night. It was getting up in front of everybody, having all these cameras in your face. It was my first time to kind of experience that. And it's surreal to say that we're in our 4th one now, and we can enjoy it, and we kind of know what to expect.
Yo. Good morning, Kansas City. Good morning, Kansas City. That's better. Hold on. That's better. Yeah, that's better. How about that? All of those highlights and all those topics. And it did not include the biggest story of yesterday.
Wow.
How about that?
Wow.
All of those things going on. The Chiefs media night at the Super Bowl, Kansas State beating Kansas, and neither of those were the biggest story in Kansas City sports yesterday. Is that amazing?
That is. That's
amazing. Royals.
The Royals
stole the headlines yesterday from opening night at the Super Bowl and from the Sunflower Showdown on Big Monday, which saw another upset happen in Manhattan. Which, well, oh, hey, my voice is better. It is better. Thanks. Let's be careful, though. Let's crawl before we can walk. Which, because of the on-air bet between Nate and Shane Summers, Nate is not allowed to mention soccer for the next month.
Month?
Which is, I amended the bet off the books.
I didn't know you could do that.
Well, I could do whatever I want. So, I really can. Jake said.
Okay.
It's for the next week. But
yeah, I mean, if I do, I have to pay him.
What? No. If you slip up, then a week is added.
Oh. every slip up adds a week?
If you slip up again, then another week's added. Okay? So do it right. Get through the next 4 days.
Man.
Okay, Jake? And you keep track of that.
Got my ear on
They
it.
made the bet. And Nate's side of the bet was if Kansas lost, he may not mention soccer for the rest of the week.
You might want to quit betting, Nate.
Yeah, you don't do Kansas City
I don't think I've
favors.
sought out any of these bets, Jake.
Yeah, but the first one you did.
No, I did not.
Sure you did.
In football?
Yeah.
No.
You said, this is the time
Bring it
Kansas
on,
is going to
Nate.
beat K-State, so I want to be on board.
Bringing it on yourself.
Don't believe I did that.
Oh, Mr. 4.5 is nothing in there.
What if,
no, yeah,
what if
I'll-
Jake
I'll-
brings up soccer? Am I allowed to respond to
No.
it?
No.
I can't
No.
even. I can't even acknowledge it.
Steve and
No.
I can sit here and have a conversation about soccer, but
Yeah.
you can't participate.
You can't say anything
So
about
we
it.
sit here and say, Pele's the best soccer
I'm going to
player
tell
ever
you
to
what, you
live.
just said it. Don't say it again. I've got to be able to uphold this. I can't sit,
Right. I'm just making sure I understand the ground
The
rules.
ground rules is don't talk about soccer. That's the ground rules.
We can talk about it.
There's no
You can't.
there's no gray area here.
Okay.
Don't say it. Don't mention it. Don't allude to it. Don't.
We can talk about Kyrie
Tease
Shelton's,
about
surgery that went well.
Right. We won't, but don't. Okay.
You can't talk about it.
Yeah.
We can.
All right.
He can't. I won't. So we're clear.
We're good.
Yeah,
He might.
understood.
He might.
I'm good.
Jack around. So that's if Nate doesn't well, how come Nate doesn't mention this? Well, hopefully nothing big happens in the next 4
Right.
days because he ain't talking about
He's
it.
in big trouble. And I'm eating a lot of crow this morning.
Again, we're not starting there. That's not the biggest story.
Right.
I mean, you're sitting here on a Tuesday morning, and you got the choice of K-State beats KU on Big Monday
Huge upset.
in overtime when they were down 11, and you're thinking, well, there we go.
I mean, it could be a season-saving win for them.
Yeah.
But
And at the same
Super
time,
Bowl.
with the dope rhyme in Las Vegas,
you know and I know.
you got the Chiefs opening night of the Super Bowl. And you're thinking, you know what? Those are two big stories. I wonder which one will lead with. Neither one of them.
Right.
Because the Royals stole the headlines. You know what? Round of applause. Congratulations to the Kansas City Royals. Congratulations to John Sherman, J.J. Piccolo, Scott Sharp, Bobby Witt Jr. And I haven't seen anybody. If anybody tries to twist this into something negative or something, oh, man, take a hike.
Get out of here.
All right. Just sometimes there's just a story that you embrace, especially when it's somewhat unexpected, or at least, I mean, there was plenty of hints that it could be happening over the past couple of days, but going back over the past couple of years, I think a lot of people had given up on this idea with good reason because it had never happened before, really. Okay? Bobby Witt Jr. is one of the best players in Major League Baseball. Bobby Witt Jr. projects out to be one of the best players in baseball over the next decade. Bobby Witt Jr. is a special talent. Bobby Witt Jr. is an MVP level talent.
Yes.
Bobby Witt Jr., I think in the next 3 or 4 years will be in the conversation for best player in baseball.
Yes, sir.
Bobby Witt Jr., I think, will be an MVP candidate every year that he stays healthy. Bobby Witt Jr. will put up numbers that we haven't seen maybe ever. Yes. If it's not ever, then it's a long time. Woo! In a Royals uniform. Bobby Witt Jr. is a spectacular player, but we've seen really good players over the years that the Royals had no hopes of signing. Players that were nowhere as good as Bobby Witt Jr. You know, we've seen players come up over the years, and we're just resigned to the fact that, well, got them for a while, and then they're gone. The Royals will either have to trade them before they hit free agency, or they'll hit free agency and the Royals get a compensation draft pick, and you know we'll tip our cap to them, thank them for a few years of good baseball, and watch them go play for the Dodgers, Red Sox, Yankees, wherever they go. And I don't know about you. Again, over the past couple of days, you know, John Heyman and other people had indicated that things were close, things were happening, there was some movement, there was some talk, there were some hopes that the Royals and Bobby Witt Jr. could get something done. But you know, before that, last year, at any time over the past year or two, were either of you hopeful of this? I mean, legitimately. No. I mean, hopeful is one thing. We're all hopeful of it. But did you legitimately think this could happen?
No, I didn't.
Nor did I. Because number one, you have to have ownership with deep enough pockets, willing to put their hand deep enough in their pocket to pay. And then number two, which might have been even a more difficult part of the equation, you got to have a player willing to say, okay, I'm gonna turn my back on at least the first few years of free agency and sign a long-term deal here, instead of leaving myself the opportunity to test the free agent waters as soon as possible. And honestly, that's where I thought Bobby Witt Jr. was coming from. Mm-hmm. And so, as Adam Sandler once said, it takes two to tango.
Or something like that.
And I really didn't see any way that both sides were going to come together and it was going to make sense enough for the Royals to do it, and it was going to make sense enough for Bobby Witt Jr. to do it. And I'll be damned if it didn't happen. And that's a great day in Royals history. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if this is going to lead to, multiple playoff appearances. I don't know if this is going to lead to ultimately another World Series appearance or more than one, or a championship. But damn it, the Royals drafted and I don't want to, just say developed. Bobby Witt Jr. is already a stud. You know what I mean? Brought him through the system and produced one of the best young players in baseball. And now we don't have to watch him with the, oh, he's a great player, but he'll be gone pretty soon. Oh, he's a great player, but the Royals should probably start to look at trading him to maximize his return because there's no way they're going to sign him, right? Mm-hmm. Those conversations have already happened, right? On this show and yeah. People that analyze the Royals, well, they should start talking next year about a trade. Now, you don't have to hear any of that. There's no buts. There's no Bobby Witt Jr. is a stud, but Bobby Witt Jr. is an MVP candidate, but Bobby Witt Jr. is one of the most exciting players to watch in baseball, but the Royals can't keep him. He's going to be gone. He's going to leave in free agency. They're going to be forced to trade him. All those buts are gone. And now we can just sit back and just, not that we didn't embrace this kid, but just sit back and watch him and say, yeah, he's a Royal. And he's going to be a Royal for a long time. Go get that jersey. Go get that, Jake. Go get that bobblehead and play with it. Well, that sounded weird. I don't think you play with them. I don't know if you put them on the shelf or.
You don't know.
I don't know. I know you have an extensive collection. I don't know if you sit there, I'm Bobby Wood Jr. I mean, I don't know if you do
In
that.
the box.
Bobble. Do whatever you want with them. Right. Play with it. Buy it. It's like I was texting because there's no phone calls for me now. I was texting with my friend Anthony Gialdi, godfather of Richie St. John, one of my dearest, closest friends that I went to St. Pius with, and a man that you think I'm Mr. Rotisserie baseball. This dude, I haven't told you about Anthony lately, have I, Jake? He goes to Vegas for these big money rotisserie leagues. He's I can't remember, maybe it's John Cassar. He's like one Hollywood director and a couple of other like big name fans. He's in these huge leagues we've only read about, right? And he goes out to Vegas for like a week and a half and does all. So it's really.
I shared a special moment in 2014 with Mr. Gialdi.
At the wild card game.
Yeah.
And so when I say this, like, there's nobody that I grew up with that loves baseball more than him. And I mean, to be texting with him yesterday, it was just funny. He was like, I'm gonna listen to I'm gonna watch MLB Network to see what they just have him talk about it. I'm so happy. He was like over the moon.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. He was just so happy, and it made me happy. And I imagine that any Royals fan around the city was just so happy because we didn't think this was gonna happen. It's just this unexpected gift. And now we can like fully embrace having one of the best players in baseball, because it doesn't feel like we got him at Rent-A-Center. If we're not renting him, he's ours.
Not on layaway.
Yeah, we're not making payments, and then someone's gonna repossess him. He's ours. And so he's 23 years old. And the initial report from Jeff Passan, 11 years, $288.8 million. Which, I mean, we can get into that. There's more to that. The contract will allow Bobby Wood to opt out after the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th years. Renegotiate the contract also. It includes a club option after the 11th season that could tack on 3 years and $89 million. So if that would happen for the full length of it, it could be 14 years, $377 million. I mean, these are just numbers that we've seen other teams spend, and other, we'd see these numbers from other clubs like, well, the Royals will never see that.
Right.
Right? Did you ever think we'd see that?
No, I did not.
Like, we'll never see that. I was wondering if we'd ever see the Royals have like $100 million contract.
Right.
And this just went from boom to boom, like. And I just sat for a while and looked at the numbers, and I'm like, I got to keep looking at it to normalize it, because it's not registering with me. It's not this Royals, 11 years, $288 million. I'm like, things I did not think I would see. Kind of like, same thing. I'm not kidding you. I still, every time I see an article right now that says Chiefs appearing in their 4th Super Bowl in 5 years, I'm like, I gotta like keep reading it to make sure it's like, okay, all right, this is happening. And I mean, what a time to be a Kansas City sports fan. I mean, I tweeted this yesterday. We used to dream for times like these. Mm-hmm. How many times did the Royals have a young, impressive player and just think, I just wish they'd sign him to a long-term deal, and we wouldn't have to worry about losing him to free agency or have to trade him? How many times, I just wish the Chiefs would go to one Super Bowl. And like, here we are in this year of our Lord, 2024. And yesterday I'm just, sitting around. Well, tomorrow we'll talk about Bobby Witt Jr. signing an 11-year, $288 million deal. Then after that, we'll probably get to the Chiefs at Super Bowl media night, getting ready for their 4th Super Bowl in 5 years. And Look at us. Like what are we doing? What is we doing? People talk about the good old days. These are the good old days.
You're crazy.
We're living them.
Yeah.
It's just if you don't sit and think about this and just smile. I don't know. I don't know what else you want. Yeah. Okay. Look, hey, we want the Royals to be competitive.
This is a big step.
You know what? In an off season where they've taken a lot of steps.
Yeah.
Now, some of these things could not work out. We've seen this before.
Yeah.
Teams, just because they spend a bunch of money, that doesn't mean it's going to work. But I'll be damned if they didn't go out there and they were aggressive. We got 2 starting pitchers. We got another outfielder. We got this. We got that. I was like, what is going on? And then to top all that off, we signed Bobby Witt Jr. to an 11-year deal. And look, of course, this has a lot to do with this upcoming vote.
You don't say.
Of course it does. But guess what? That's what a lot of Royals fans are asking for.
We all win.
You want our money?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, invest some of your money into this baseball team. If that's what you were hoping for, if that's what you were asking for, they have delivered.
Yeah.
What else could you want them to do? Sprinkle in a little extension for Vinny Pasquantino. Now I'm getting greedy. I'm getting greedy now. That's fine. You know what? Let Cole Reagans wet his beak. I'm getting greedy, but it's just, and and then look, hey, you want to extend this out a little further, just about being a sports fan right now in this town. The football seasons that we've had over the past couple of years, like now, you went through these decades of Kansas football just being awful. And now you got a coach that other big schools wanted, and he ain't leaving, and he's building something that you can be proud of. K-State, every year, Chris Kleiman puts out a product that K-State fans can wrap their arms around and be proud of. We just saw a hellacious battle between K-State and KU on Big Monday, that the nation's watching. And I know, K-State struggled, but still, they stood up and didn't give up and now have set an NCAA record with 6 overtime victories in a season. It's like, dude, if you go to overtime with K-State, like, oh, well.
Tang's 11-0 now?
Yeah. Good night.
Amazing.
Yeah. You get to overtime, it's like, oh, boy.
Mr. Overtime.
And for me, I was just talking about this the other day with Phil. I'm 5 days away with possibly having as a fan and for the teams that I love, having the greatest football season in the history of my life. Because I'm a few days away from having Mizzou win 11 games and beat Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl in the same season that the Chiefs win back-to-back Super Bowls. If you'd have told me that when I started this effing job, I just looked at it. Shut up. Shut up.
You have to host the show for 17 years first, but then it'll all come together.
That's fine. 17.
I don't know. I just threw a number out.
25. Good God.
Well, I was just thinking, I don't know how many had been until once the Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
I don't know.
Whatever. A long time.
But just to have those two things happen, like if you're a Mizzou and Chiefs football fan, like what else could you ask for? I mean, okay, next year for Mizzou to make get one of those playoff berths, but still, this has been like one hell of a season. It's just, this is awesome. This is awesome. I mean, I don't know, when you guys heard that the deal was done yesterday, what was your initial reaction? Wasn't it just like, this is great.
Okay, well, good night.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, wow. Good for us.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, because this guy's entering the prime of his career. You know,
maybe not for a couple of years.
Right,
He's 23.
Maybe, he might be 2 or 3 years away from his prime.
When I say entering, I just mean like his arrow's pointing up, as Todd Haley would say.
Because to your point, I thought he'd be entering the prime of his career in another uniform because of the timing.
Right.
Just when he reaches his peak, here I am, and playing for the Dodgers. Nope.
Even if he opts out after the 7th year, he'll be 30 years old. Like they've guaranteed the best years of his career. If you go by the average athlete, the average baseball player, the peak of their career is in their late 20s. And
for him to want to opt out, that means he's played like an MVP. And that means you're getting your money's worth.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
100%. Yep, that's a good problem to have. And according to the articles, his intention is to stay through the whole thing. But maybe they can renegotiate the contract at that point in time. Maybe the economics of baseball have improved a little bit. Maybe a new stadium helps the Royals, whatever. 7 years is a long time from now. Point is, no matter what, even if it's the shortest, because it could be a 7-year deal, it could be an 8-year deal, 9-year deal, 10-year deal, it could be a 14-year deal. But even if it's the shortest possible, the 7 years, they got him till he's 30. We got him.
Got him.
We got this kid who, man, and I know at the beginning of last year, like, man, I don't know if he gets on base the way, I don't know if he's a superstar. And then by the end of the year, there's no doubt. This dude can do everything.
I just want to throw stuff at you.
He can do everything.
I still do.
And he should just keep getting better.
Got him.
I almost didn't think there was any way.
It was hard to I don't know how this is gonna be bad. I'm trying to think of a good comparison. This is gonna be bad. I should shut up, but I'm gonna try here. It's like if for most or early on, like I fell in love with Susan right away when I saw her, right? Mm-hmm. At Woody's dancing. Or you know what? She saw me dancing. When I can move back in the day. Yeah. But like right when I started dating her, or just going out with her, I remember one like, what is she doing with me? What's going on here? What's happening? I'm living on borrowed time. I'm gonna enjoy this, and then she's gonna realize exactly what she's got on her hands, and she's gonna move on. And I had that for a while, right? So it was almost hard to, to like throw myself into it. 'Cause I'm like, I don't feel like getting my heart broken right now, so I'm not going to fully buy in, But then we had sweet Richie St. John. I said, well, I'm buying in on this deal. got her. Got him.
Time for the contract extension.
Yeah. and then we signed a lifetime deal.
Lifetime deal.
Right. And so it's almost like
Elvis and everybody.
Yeah, and you know how much like I would talk about Bobby Wood Jr. and the minors, and I couldn't wait to see him, and just like the rotisserie geek in me I'm like I have this baseball geek side of me that's just so I'm just a geek nerd. Jake would have pushed me into a locker at some point.
Put a kick me tag on your back.
Throwing your Stratomatic cards everywhere.
Walking around with my baseball card binder. You want to see my rookies? That was like me at 13.
Yeah.
You want to see my Donruss?
Yeah.
Rated rookies. Rated rookies.
I've got all the Diamond Kings.
I got the extended, the rookies.
Right.
Yeah.
I got the Topps Traded set here just yesterday.
I got Fred McGriff hawking a loogie over his shoulder.
So,
see my Billy Ripken?
But I was like, I didn't want to like fully fall in love with Bobby Wood Jr. as a fan, because I was like, then it's gonna effing break my heart when he leaves, because he's gonna leave.
Yep.
Because there's no chance he's staying with me.
Right. Right.
He will see I'm such a loser. He's just gonna walk around. What am I doing? What am I talking about? He will debate. There's no chance.
Yeah.
There's no chance they sign him. There's no chance he stays long term.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to get upset about this. I'm not going to allow I'm just going to enjoy him while he's here and like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to get emotionally invested. Oh, I'm going to get emotionally invested now. Let me tell you. I'm going to invest so many emotions now. It's going to get, it's...
Oh, the emotional bank's going to get a lot of deposits, huh?
Thank you, my friend.
It ain't going to get to the level of Mahomes, but it's going to get close.
You never know.
I'm just telling you. Investment has been made. Immediately when I saw that he signed, let's go look at some stats here. See how good these first couple of years. Wow, look at this power and speed. No. Okay. Susan, would you come and look at this exit velocity, please? Wow. Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone in here for an hour, okay?
Hey, Mahomes is going to be signing those paychecks.
That's fine.
To a certain extent.
And then I had to go lay down after I saw Mahomes retweet. Yeah. Congratulations to us. This is too much. This Kansas City sports is too much for me. I need to go lay down and take a little cat nap. I mean, I don't know. I'm just happy. It's just great. It's awesome. I'm so happy for Kansas City. I'm so happy for Royals fans. I'm so happy for, hardcore loyal Royals fans that were out there and standing in line to go to the Royals rally and that kept going to the games last year when they were bad, and that, there's so many great Royals fans in this town.
How about those Royals,
What a treat that was yesterday to find out that Bobby Wood Jr. staying. It's awesome.
Great stuff.
Could have been because of his society and
and then you get over the elation of that. Here come the Chiefs to talk to the media about being in the Super Bowl 4 times in 5 years. So,
Heck of a time to be in Kansas City.
That's right. Why are you playing Trey Hillman singing Christmas songs?
Just to remember
Such a bizarre choice there, but I'll allow it. We'll take a break. Back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jake, I sent you a couple of reaction videos I'd like to play if you have time. I know you're busy looking at DraftKings Sportsbook, so I don't want to bother you. But I think we'd like to hear from these three prominent names with a message for Bobby Witt Jr. The Royals X account posted videos from George Brett, Salvador Perez, and Alex Gordon with a message to Bobby Witt Jr. after signing the long-term deal. Jake doesn't, but I'd love to hear from him. You tell Alex Gordon's your guy. George Brett's my guy. Salvy's everyone's guy. I love George Brett. Let's hear George Brett and his message after the Royals signed Bobby Witt Jr. to a long-term deal.
Hey, Bobby, congratulations. Couldn't happen to a better guy. I'm so happy for you. I've always looked forward to watching you.
Told you Jake didn't want to hear it.
You play like many Kansas City fans have, and now we're going to get to see you longer than I ever expected. So congratulations. Kansas City is your new home. I hope you enjoy it. And to the Kansas City Royals, thank you. Thank you for showing commitment in a young man that's going to change his life and hopefully help change the lives of all Royals fans. You couldn't have handpicked a better guy.
Tremendous heavy-duty lawn care in the background. Jake, how would you identify that? What are we hearing there? Was that a what
I think it's probably like a leaf blower.
Leaf blower, yeah. A little cleanup in the background.
It could have been a trimmer.
Right.
I mean, it's gas-powered, whatever it was.
That's right. You know. Good weather for you yesterday. All right. So that was...
He's in shorts and short shirt, so short sleeve shirt.
George can wear whatever he wants about it.
Oh, he looks like he's in California probably.
Good. Deserves it. Now, Salvador Perez, here it looks like he's in the weight room. Maybe in between sets, in between some reps. All right? You like that? You like, okay, Salvy's in the weight room.
Yeah.
But then he delivered this message to Bobby Witt Jr.
Hey, Junior, congratulations, man. We deserve, man. I know how hard you work, how hard you prepare yourself every day to be in the field. So enjoy. We'll see you soon, and let's go, okay? Congrats, man.
Junior. And here is the apple of Jake's eye, Alex Gordon, and his message to Bobby Witt Jr.
I want to congratulate Bobby Witt Jr. on his new, well-deserved contract with the Kansas City Royals. I couldn't think of a better fit than this player and this organization teaming up for the next few years, and excited to see what they can accomplish in the future together. He's a great player. We all know what kind of talent he is, but even a better person. Very humble, goes about his business the right way. He's always working hard. Great to everybody. So, well-deserved, Bobby. Congratulations, and can't wait to see what you do next.
You can't see this tremendous look of satisfaction on Jake's face as he listens to Alex Gordon talk about Bobby Witt Jr. signing a long-term deal.
For many reasons. He's got a great beard going right now. So I love that. And then the second one is he's got his hat on backwards, and I know how much that angers Nate.
Right.
So it makes me very happy.
Alex Gordon can do what he wants.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants.
You know what I mean?
He wears his hat however he wants.
That's exactly right.
He wears his hat inside out as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, that's great. Let's go.
You like that?
Salvy's pumped, man. He should be.
Salvy said he's going to the Super Bowl for the first time on Sunday.
Yeah, I saw that.
If J.J. Picola lets him.
Think JJ will?
I'm going to see J.J. tomorrow. I'm going to ask him, will you please?
Let Salvy go.
Let Salvy go.
Let Salvy go.
Right. Salvy'd have a blast at the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
He seems like he'd have a blast anywhere. I feel like he'd really have a blast. Salvy's a big Chiefs fan.
Yeah, he is.
Throw on a Mahomes jersey and let Salvy go out there and have at it. We need him in that park. That's right. We need him out in Vegas.
He can afford tickets.
Well, he's one of the few.
Yeah, he is.
You know?
One of the lucky few.
He deserves it. Get them right before the season starts. Man. Any other comments from you about the Bobby Witt Jr. extension before we move on to the Sunflower Showdown? Because then we'll get into...
Oh, we're talking about that?
Well, yeah, we are. I mean, what do you mean?
I got comments all day about Bobby Witt Jr. then.
Super Bowl.
I need to hear something from you. I just got a tweet from a K-State fan says, tell Jake to answer the phone. I got lots of soccer questions for Nate. Okay, what went wrong for Kansas? They had an 11-point lead, right?
Yep.
It's like, okay, there it is. They put their foot on the gas. K-State's been struggling, and there you go. Second half, 11-point lead. What happened?
Well, they missed some big free throws. Kevin McCullough in particular missed some big free throws. He went 1 for 5 from the free throw line, including missing the front end of a 1-and-1 when the team was down by 2 in a crucial situation.
No good.
So that's not good. I think that K-State deserves a lot of credit for the way they played defense. They played very, very good defense. Not much came easy for Kansas in the game. They came out, they looked like the team that was more energized to be there. Kansas, this is a problem for them now, and I said it yesterday, Stephen, they are not closing out games on the road. They have lost. They're 1-4 away from home in Big 12 play. They've been close games they haven't executed down the stretch. That's wild, right? You're not used to saying that about Kansas. And they're coming off of a blowout win over Houston. So the difference between them at home and them on the road is stark right now. And usually I think we're used to seeing Kansas win close games on the road because they keep a tight huddle. They execute down the stretch, and they're not doing that this year for whatever reason. But also, like I said, I think you got to give K-State a lot of credit. They played really good defense. I was very impressed with the way they guarded KU in that game. And they hit some big shots down the stretch. Tyler Perry made a couple of huge plays down the stretch in that game, and he seems to continue to do that. I know K-State's coming off of a losing streak themselves, but that record of Jerome Tang being 11-0 as the head coach in overtime is just wild. That's almost unbelievable. So I want to give a lot of credit to K-State. I don't want to take it all away just on what KU didn't do. There's a little bit of both. But, yeah, KU, they're not executing down the stretch in close games on the road. And they're going to have to figure that out, or they're not going to have much of a chance of competing for the league. So, and it's disappointing from a KU standpoint because they did just get that big win against Houston, which made it feel like, okay, they're back in this Big 12 race. But, I mean, if you look at it just from the standings, Kansas has road losses to teams that are in the bottom half of the league, So there's an issue there to be certain. But for K-State, that's a huge win that puts that's a huge tournament resume boosting win for them, and one that they really needed too. So we'll see if that jumpstarts something for K-State, because they were kind of headed in the wrong direction until that point. But yeah, those are my thoughts on it.
You got anything?
Yeah, I was. I'll stand up and say my comments yesterday were moronic, and I look like a big idiot, and I'm a fool.
Yep.
Like Steven. Yep.
I should have seen it coming. I looked at it backwards. I looked at KU's coming off a giant win against Houston with all the momentum, and K-State's coming off a debacle, a loss to the worst team in the league, and I was like, that's where my, the overconfidence, the cockiness, the ignorance came from, and for a while it looked like, hey, this is a good bet, Jake. Way to go.
What'd you say to yourself after?
Well, I mean, because I doubled down after, getting them at -4.5 when they went down 2 with about 7 minutes left in the first half. They went down. I was like, well, the line's -1.5. I'll hammer on that a little. I did, and cost me. But good win. What happened to KU was K-State last night. That team was
There it is.
team with their back against the wall.
Tyler Perry.
Season on the line. I mean, they were legitimately on the outside looking in, and I think that a win like that, and they still have work to do, but that saves their season, or at least not their season. It saves their chances at an NCAA tournament bid.
It keeps their hopes alive.
I'm not going to say that saves their season, but yeah, it not only keeps them alive, but it I think it puts them in if they
needed that win.
Yeah, it was a do or die.
The resume desperately needed that win.
Yep. So congratulations, Jerome Tang. Great win. Great win to that place was rocking last night. Props to the Kansas State fans for showing up.
It reminded me of the game that Kansas lost at Central Florida. Central Florida came out, KU looked flat, but then KU kind of got their footing and built a lead, double-digit lead, and you thought, okay, they survived the early onslaught from Central Florida. They got their lead now. They're okay. And then Central Florida came back in the second half and pulled ahead and won the game.
Okay, enough of this. Where are we at on the signs that everyone was holding in the crowd that says, "We own this state," in the shape of Kansas with a Wildcat on there?
Well,
and they kept showing it. I mean, they showed it a lot during the game.
They do right now.
Do they?
I mean, they beat Kansas in football. They just knocked them off on Big Monday.
Do they own the state?
I don't think anybody technically owns the state.
The sign says, "We own the state." I'm asking you if they own the state.
They don't.
It's very simple because it's a statement that says, "We own the state."
No, I guess
you said they kind of do, and they said, "Well, no, they don't." Either they do or they don't.
We, the people, own the state.
Do they own the state?
No.
What do you say about those signs?
Well, they're good signs for fans to have. I mean,
Does Kansas have those signs?
I mean, are we? Who's we?
I don't.
K-State.
Oh,
there's a Wildcat on there. Look at it.
We're all we. I'm part of we. We the people.
You guys think that I'm asking does Kansas have those signs at K-State games?
I don't believe they do, but I'm sure they have other signs that I don't know. I don't.
Well, that one's
I think that's a K-State. Wasn't there a famous K-State fan that would hold that sign a lot? So now it's
kept showing it.
Yeah.
And I'm asking you about it.
I don't. I'm trying to answer your question.
Does it make you mad? Do you think it's
no.
funny?
No, it's great.
It's good school spirit.
What was the T-shirt that Wichita State had? And that did piss you off.
Oh yeah, state champs.
Kings of, no,
something like that.
Kings of Kansas. I thought
Kings
it
of
was.
Kansas. That's what it was. Yeah, Kings of Kansas.
Kings of Kansas.
You know. So but then I saw somebody.
No more Kings.
Post.
Get rid of those in 1776.
Like in response to this, they goes, "Oh, you think you own the state?" And they showed like Kansas leads in baseball, still leads in football somehow by 14. I don't know how this.
That's amazing.
What type of lead did they build?
The most impressive one possible, apparently.
I've been doing this show for 25 years, and in Kansas, all they do is they're still like close to catching. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What? You forget, like, what happened?
Yeah.
And then Kansas obviously leads in basketball. And so then there's this thread getting into this big fight about,
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I like petty things like this. And so I was asking you what you thought. I would, ESPN sure showed it a lot.
Well, yeah.
Jake?
Need some scenics. Give me some crowd shots.
Yeah.
You got nothing to say about this. Normally you'd have some type of comeback. Jake.
He was getting into civics. He's like, we the people.
Who's we?
Land ownership is actually
damn well who
have they secured the land patent is my question.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Have they?
I doubt it.
What if they actually own the state and you just don't know
They've
it?
secured the land patent of the state of Kansas.
I know that my stepdad owns some land in the state, down around Ark City,
I
some
think
farmland.
You look at the total numbers, and that would butt its head against that sign, saying that they don't. They own last night.
You get another crack at them.
Yeah,
but it's like
maybe a couple.
Yeah,
you never know.
Well, yeah,
could play
Kansas
in the
City, sure.
tournament.
Yeah,
hope so.
That'd be fun.
Yeah,
it's look in order for these things to be rivalries, KU in football has to be able to win sometimes. And K-State in basketball has to be able to win sometimes, and that's 2 years in a row they've got KU in Manhattan in overtime, right?
Correct. correct.
And Jerome Tang's telling his fans, expect this. Don't. He wouldn't let him rush the court last night. Because he says you should expect this.
I respect that too.
I think that's a good flex.
Yeah, I respect that.
Kansas
Do
fans.
you like when he gets to the crowd and sings and dances with the crowd?
Yeah.
He's having fun. I mean,
You'd love it if you were a K-State fan.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. No, I think he's heck yeah.
I mean, it irritates me more that they didn't rush the
right.
That's what you want, right?
Like to me, KU fans, not all, some KU fans get all upset when teams rush the court. You know what? It's a bigger statement when somebody doesn't rush the court.
That's
we beat you last year, we beat you this year.
His personality and everything, it would be like so easy to love him if you're a K-State fan.
Oh, yes.
He seems like the greatest guy ever.
Right.
I mean, he does. I mean, I've never met the man, but he comes
Well,
off
you know
like
what?
a very likable
Maybe
man.
we need to do something about that. I'd like to have you beat Jerome Tang.
I'll
I don't know how much he'd like it, but I think you might like it.
with Mr. Tang.
I didn't say that. We will take a break back after this on WHB. All right, you got just a few days.